You know, as the sun comes up over that border, things are suddenly quiet. India's and Pakistan's guns have stopped. But the big question is, can this silence last?
It's May 11th, 2025. Overnight, we saw news break, a U.S. brokered truce between India and Pakistan after weeks of, well, really intense fighting. Ellie, before this, dozens of people had died. Why did it take them so long to even start talking?
Yeah, it's not new for these two. Mistrust runs deep, and even small things can spiral. Both militaries were on edge, so nobody wanted to look weak. But this time, the U.S. got involved, much more directly than usual. Secretary of State Rubio and Vice President Vance took part in the talks. That sort of hands-on push from Washington, that doesn't happen every day.
Right, and the announcement itself came from President Trump on social media. It's not the first time he's done that. But do we know what's actually in the agreement? I mean, is it just a ceasefire, or is there more?
So the full details haven't been released, but what we do know, there's an immediate halt to missile and drone strikes. Also, they've set up a direct communication channel, likely both at the military and diplomatic level. That way, anything that happens at the border can be reported right away. Less chance of, something small turning into something big.
But, if someone breaks the truce, who's actually keeping watch? Who steps in?
The U.S., mainly. They're acting as the mediator, monitoring both sides. If someone violates the deal, American diplomats are supposed to step in. It's a pretty direct role. Makes you wonder how long the U.S. is willing to keep that up.
This isn't just about India and Pakistan, though. What does it mean for the region? Like, China, where do they fit into all this?
Yeah, that's important. China is close to Pakistan, but they've got their own issues with India. A truce actually helps Beijing. It doesn't have to pick sides right now. It could even calm things between China and India on their own border. And then Afghanistan's right there too. If India and Pakistan aren't fighting, Afghanistan can maybe focus more internally.
That's a big shift. But what about the economic impact? Could this open up trade or even cooperation in South Asia?
In theory, sure. Less military tension means more money and attention for, say, roads, infrastructure, maybe even joint projects. And security cooperation, stuff like border management or fighting terrorism, suddenly seems a little more doable.
And the U.S. role here, pretty striking. Is this just a one-time thing, or could we see more of this kind of diplomacy? There's even talk about a Ukraine ceasefire. Are these linked?
Well, the U.S. threw its whole weight at this. State Department, Vice President, the works. If it holds, it sets a model for other conflicts. And the timing. Ukraine talks happening now too. That's not random. Feels like the administration wants to see if this approach can work elsewhere.
Whenever nuclear powers are involved, it's nerve-wracking. How big is this for global security?
It's pretty major. 2 nuclear-armed countries, not facing off. That's a relief, not just for South Asia. Shows that talking can work, even with all that bad history. If this lasts, it's proof for diplomacy instead of force.
So, is this a real turning point, or just a pause, before things go back to how they were?
That's the big unknown. History says truces here are fragile. But with the U.S. so involved, and with new lines of communication, there's a chance to build on it. It'll come down to the leaders, if they want this to last.
Everyone's watching. And, well, so are we.
So we've looked at the U.S.-brokered India-Pakistan truce, its terms, what it could mean for the region, and the bigger diplomatic picture. Thanks for joining us while we untangled the details, because in times like these, the facts really do matter.
Stay curious, stay informed. Thanks for listening.